No, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I think it'll...
I just think that...
Hello, how you doing everyone? Victor Tay here. I'm just live streaming down at Parliament House. I just arrived. And how you doing? Already getting a few people honking us and stuff.
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you? Good. Yeah.
There's not that many people here yet. Exercise. How you doing, guys? Hello. You doing well? But a familiar face is here, so it's still a bit quiet. Maybe I'll update you guys a bit later when if more people end up rocking up here. Let me show you what it looks like. So those two police officers over there were waiting across the road, but I think they were seeing how many people are going to rock up at 2 o'clock. And oh, no puncture, no picture. Ah, hello. How you doing, guys? Can you guys see? You guys saying there's no picture? I thought it was broadcasting pretty well. There were two police officers. You see down there, you can see the two yellow coats. So I think they just had two constables today just watching. They were across the road, but now they've gone. Now they're further over there. So it's good to see you all here. So I don't know whether the effect of the police not doing anything last week will have a positive or negative effect on here. And also the weather's a little bit cooler today. It was forecasted to rain, but it's actually not too bad. So today I have my winter gear on, so I'm in my formal wear. So this live stream is brought to you by Adidas and Nike. How you doing? So there's a few people that have rocked up here, maybe some familiar faces. So we'll see how many more people come and exercise. I know next week in Sydney they actually applied for a protest permit. A group, the Millions March, that's organised by Michael Sims. He's going to be here at 12 o'clock next week. So I'm going to be there as well. I think they've asked me to say something as well, so I don't mind addressing the crowd now that that's allowed. So they actually have a permit in Sydney. So for those of you who are fearful of the police stopping it or doing something, they've actually approved next week's protest. Hey, how you doing? Oh, it's a yellow Liberty headband there. Yeah, I like people making their own headbands, which is good. Hello, it's a few familiar faces that you might have seen from the weeks before. Yeah, I hope so. I hope there aren't any arrests. I don't think they should arrest us for just exercising. But I think they've learned their lesson that if they do, then that only fuels the fire. So I think that's why last week they actually did the smart thing, I think, which was to just leave people, just protect the public like they have sworn to do, and protect the people. And maybe a bit later on in the day, how you doing, guys? I will go talk to some people. So people here right now are just walking up and down. You can see some people behind me. Those are some guys that I do know. And let me show you if I can see what else is going on here. There are a few signs here. I got myself a new phone, so hopefully the footage is a little bit better and it's running a little bit smoother. Hey guys. Hello. Facts trump fear. I like that one. Okay. Okay, Carrie, you're asking where am I? I'm in Sydney, so this is New South Wales Parliament House. So not a lot of space. I saw the footage from Vic's Parliament House, and it looks like that Parliament House is a lot more group friendly. Here we're just walking, but if you wanted to have a protest, it looks like Victoria is actually pretty nice. Here, there's just a pathway, like a thick path in front of Parliament House. And this is our state Parliament House here, if you haven't seen it before. It's got a few flags out the front. And generally, when there are protests being held here, people sort of have to cram up on this path and that's why sometimes they can move people on for obstructing traffic. This is why in Sydney, you can see here a more high-ranked police officer has joined the two constables now. So now there's 3 of them across the road, keeping us safe. And we'll see if any more people come to exercise today. Maybe because it's a bit colder today. And next week as well, there's also the Millions March. Maybe people are holding out for that one. So if you are in Sydney, make sure you get down to the Millions March next week. So that's the 30th, and that starts at 12 o'clock. They're going to be meeting at St James Station in Hyde Park. Hyde Park is actually very close to Parliament House if you're not from Sydney. So literally if you go back down the road behind me and you walk maybe about 2 or 3 minutes, you'll actually hit Hyde Park. You've got to cross the road. So it's good they have a permit, because then they can walk from Hyde Park to Parliament House and cross the road, and when the police work together with you, then they make sure the roads are blocked off and whatnot. So they're walking. I don't know where the speeches are going to be. I suggested maybe on the steps of New South Wales Library. If I walk down there, maybe I can show you guys what that looks like. But obviously in Hyde Park, you've got a big open area in the middle, and people sometimes stand on the fountain ledge. But I'll walk down here to New South Wales Library, and for those of you who aren't in Sydney, you can see what it looks like. But next week, yeah, that starts at 12 o'clock, and I'll be here from 12 and probably stay till 4 as well, and do my regular exercise routine outside Parliament House. I did want it to be the same time as when I was exercising here, but the Millions March is actually a global event that goes on. How you doing? Hey, hello. You doing good? I'm just showing the people on the live stream the library. But because they just want to advertise, I think, the same time all around the world, the 30th at 12 o'clock. So they're sticking with that time. And also the permit that they applied for in Sydney is at 12 o'clock as well. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I spoke to Meryl Dorey again this morning. I don't know if you guys caught it on the on the Facebook page. So this morning I did a live interview with Meryl Dorey after she spoke with Michael Sims, who is organising a lot of the protests on the 30th and really pushing that in Australia. Let me show you here the library. It was in one of my videos as well, so there's quite a lot of scenery here, like, you know, with the pillars. Kind of looks more like a Parliament House, like a government building here. So this is all on the same block. So you can walk around the back of the block, but there's not really much on the back of this block. On the back of the block, there's just a park there, and kind of like a small road, but there's not really any traffic that goes along the back of Parliament House. On the back of Parliament House is sort of how they get into the building. I think there's some private parking there as well. But you can see here there's a nice open space here, and there are steps leading up to the library. I don't know whether they let people speak from this location, but if they do, I mean, that location's pretty cool. Otherwise, you can do it in Hyde Park. So they might do it there, actually, because if they do it from there, that's where everyone is meeting. So I don't know whether they are doing speeches first and then walking, ending up at Parliament House and then doing this, or they're walking and then going to Parliament House and doing it from there. Okay, well, I will walk back and I'll turn my camera around so that way you guys see exactly what I'm seeing. But the city still is really dead. I mean, even though people are allowed out now and businesses technically, hey guys, hello. Even though people are allowed out now and technically businesses can open and cater to a small number, I think from June onwards, pubs, cafes and restaurants can have 50 plus people. And what frustrates me is, how come churches aren't allowed to open? You can only have church gathering up to 10 people, but then pubs, clubs and cafes can have up to 50. I don't know how that makes sense. But now that even with the restrictions being eased, people seem still scared to come out, because when I walk through Chifley Tower, it's still really, really quiet in the city. Here you go, my boy with me. Yeah, so his name's Simon. That's my family. Hello. Oh, hello. Oh, I love your headband. Yes. Let's see who else is here. Yeah, this is not about a virus. Okay. Now, these people are probably just exercising here and not. Yeah. Facts trump fear. All right. Let's see. Hey, how you doing? Hello. Oh, there you go. For life. I like that. All right. All right. Do you guys have any questions before I go? I might go and end it here for now. And if anything else happens, I'll do another live stream and update you. Just scroll through these comments, see if I missed anything. All right, Lee Mason says, the fact that people still have to get approval from the Gestapo to gather peacefully shows how far gone this country is. Yeah, I agree with you. I think if it's not so big, I mean, I can understand if a gathering is so large that I can understand that if a gathering is so large and it actually obstructs traffic and actually hinders people from getting around, yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough, you should get a permit for that, just out of consideration for the rest of the public. But if you're gathering and you're not causing any, nuisance, you're not harassing anybody, it's not too noisy, you're just peacefully gathering, then you shouldn't need a permit for that, because you ought to have the right to just exercise that right and gather with people when you're not causing any problems to the public. So, yeah, I do think there is a limit to the size, and if it actually causes some public safety issues. Let's see what other comments I missed here. Okay. Alright guys, well, maybe I'll give you an update a bit later if anything happens here. And like I said before, if you are worried about getting out of your home, getting some essential exercise, I don't think you need to be. And especially next week. Next week there's a permit for an actual protest. So let's get out there. Let's get the numbers up. And the more of us that speak out, the more of us that band together, the louder our voices get. Alright guys, always remember, muscles are like rights. If you don't use them, you lose them. See ya.